been about a month since we got the Mace in Minecraft, and so far it has a bit of a Marmite love-hate relationship with the Minecraft community. It's clear Mojang wants this to be the most powerful weapon in the entire game, but is it too powerful? The base version of the Mace is already fairly powerful, as it will deal 7 attack damage, which is equivalent to a diamond sword. So for example, you can kill a creeper in 2 to 3 hits, although as soon as you jump from a 3-block height, the creeper dies instantly. And then if we start using wind charges, you can kill basically any mob in a single hit apart from mobs such as the Warden. But remember, this is only the base version of the Mace, as Mojang decided this wasn't strong enough, so they added new enchantments for the Mace. We have Wind Burst, which will cause the player to bounce back up into the air when the target was successfully hit. Honestly, I genuinely really like this enchantment. It's super fun to use, especially when you land hits in succession. Then we have Density, which will increase the damage of the Mace per block fallen, and this enchantment can increase up to level 5. Finally, there's Breach, which will reduce the effectiveness of armor, which is reduced by 15% per level. All 3 of these enchantments make the Mace incredibly powerful. Not to mention, you can put Unbreaking 3 and Mending on the Mace, so once you have one, you pretty much permanently have the most powerful weapon in the entire game, unless you happen to drop it in lava or something. On paper, the Mace sounds extremely overpowered, but there's a catch. There is a skill gap in using this new weapon. You can't just swing it around like a sword or an axe. You have to time your attacks and stay on target. And if you're in a tense situation, it's not always the easiest thing to do. It also depends on where you're situated. For example, if you're inside a cave, the Mace isn't exactly the best weapon of choice, since you don't have much jumping height. But that's only if you're not in an open cave. So the use case is somewhat circumstantial, as it can't be used in every scenario, making swords, axes, or any other weapon in Minecraft not entirely useless. However, I do still see this replacing swords or axes for most players as their main weapon, since most mobs can now be killed in a single hit with ease. But wait, there's another catch. The Mace isn't exactly easy to obtain, since gathering the materials to craft the Mace are somewhat challenging. Firstly, you need to find a trial chamber, which is now achieved by using cartographers, and you have to hope you're lucky enough to get the new trial chamber map when trading. Pretty much like anything you want from villagers, just keep cycling the trade until you get what you're looking for. Personally, I do like this change. I like that you now have to get a map to find the trial chambers. It just makes life a little bit easier, because before, you had to randomly search and hope you'd eventually come across a trial chamber. But now that you've found your first trial chamber, here's the challenging part. The trial chamber itself. The trial chamber is a pretty dangerous, chaotic place that's filled with many difficult mobs, such as skeletons, bogs, cave spiders, strays, husks, zombies, and the new breeze. Plus, it's not like there's just a few mobs here or there, it's a whole group of them ready to ruin your day. And unless you're decently geared up, you're most likely not going to survive. However, if you are skilled enough to get through the wave of mobs, you'll eventually come across 2 types of rewards that are very important. The trial key and the ominous potion. The trial key is how you open up these new vaults, which can provide some decent loot, such as shields, some iron tools or armor, and maybe some diamond armor if you're lucky. But the reward you really want is the ominous potion, which can come in 5 different tiers, and each tier will provide the ominous effect for longer periods of time. Just thought I'd mention that this isn't the only way you can get the potion. You can also obtain them by killing pillagers. But why is this potion so important? Well, because it's how you're able to obtain the ominous trial key. When the potion has been drunk, there's a chance you can get the ominous trial key from mobs you've defeated. Then you're able to use this key to open up the new upgraded ominous vaults, which is now the only vault you can get a heavy core from to craft the Mace. Previously, you were able to get heavy cores from the regular vaults, but Mojang decided to change this as players were getting the new weapon too easily. Now, the heavy core is one of the hardest crafting materials you can obtain, and there's only an 8.3% chance you're going to get a heavy core, which doesn't sound insanely rare. But something to consider is there's only a 75% chance you're going to get that unique loot, and you're only going to get one, meaning 25% of the time you could get nothing. So you could get a heavy core, or you could get any of these other rare items instead. And just to prove how difficult the heavy core is to obtain, I went into 2 different trial chambers. I flew around in creative mode with some keys, hoping I would at least manage to get 1 heavy core. The first trial chamber wasn't that exciting. The chamber itself was small, meaning there weren't very many ominous vaults, so the loot could have been better. Now I needed to find a new trial chamber, so I did some trading with a villager to get a new map, and located a new trial chamber, which was even bigger and had even more ominous vaults. Surely I must get a heavy core here. I ended up getting some pretty incredible loot. 3 enchanted golden apples, one of the rarest items in the game, but not a single core. Now imagine this was done in survival. That would have been 2 hours of gameplay with nothing to show for it. Well, for crafting the new extremely overpowered smacking machine. Maybe me being unlucky was the fact that I cheated to try and get the new heavy core by flying around in creative mode with some keys. My point here is that hunting these ominous vaults requires a great deal of time and effort. If you want the new Minecraft weapon, you're going to have to put in the work. Far more than what you would for diamonds or netherites. So yes, the new mace is definitely the strongest weapon in the entire game, especially when you have all the best enchantments. But it's an end game weapon. It's not easy to get. And you know what? It doesn't break the game. When you consider something to be overpowered or completely broken, you have to take into account how it affects everything else. Does it make the other weapons useless? No. Absolutely not. Does it make the warden easier? No. Does it make Minecraft too easy? No, absolutely not, because it's provided a more challenging experience for players. And I'll level with you here. I initially didn't like this weapon. Like many others, I thought it felt way too strong and was going to make everything too easy. But with the conditions on actually obtaining the mace and how it needs to be used, it's not actually that bad. It definitely stirred up some controversy in the Minecraft community, which in a way is a good thing. It gets people talking. Also, I do like it when Mojang tries something a bit daring. It's more fun, and hey, I'm glad they're at least trying something new. So to conclude this whole discussion, I think the mace doesn't break Minecraft. Sure, it's a strong weapon, but it's been such a long time since we got a new weapon in Minecraft that's just fun. And if you've made it this far into the video, I just want to share a little theory with you. Something to get your cogs turning. What if the reason we're getting a new powerful weapon is because Mojang are going to add a new boss that requires the use of the mace? It's just an idea that I had. Maybe something to think about. Again, if you've made it to the end of the video, thank you. I appreciate you. And if you like this video, then maybe check out this video here. And, subscribe.